In Paisley, Dundee United came up with a late equaliser for the second time in 5 days to deny St Mirren the win they wanted. Games in hand could see the Tannadice team make a significant move up the league, but recently they've become the SPL's draw specialists. The turn-in shot was by Johnny Russell, but St Mirren keeper Paul Gallagher did well to stop it with his right boot. A first-half chance for Russell and the first serious save of the match for Gallagher. No save required this time as United tried again. Prince Boabin with the long-range attempt on goal, and Gallagher watched it fly wide. The goalkeeper unhappy though with the way his teammates backed off and allowed him to shoot. Saints took the lead 7 minutes from half-time. Jure Travenor's corner headed in by Darren McGregor. A happy home team looking to edge themselves away from the fear of relegation. McGregor's header was stopped from hitting the net by Magaro Gomes, but not before it had crossed the goal line. Now a set piece for United as Peter Houston's team searched for an equaliser. Craig Conway's dipping delivery and David Goodwilly's header dropped onto the top of the crossbar. A decent effort, but keeper Gallagher had it well covered. Goodwilly, the team's top scorer, was a recurring threat to the St Mirren defence in the second half as United tried to respond to McGregor's opening goal. Barry Douglas picked him out with a cross, and the header produced a good diving save from Gallagher. Goodwilly disappointed that his downward header didn't sneak in. If that was a good try by Goodwilly, this was an amazing miss by the prolific goal scorer after St Mirren's Paddy Craig had been robbed of the ball in midfield. Russell sprinted in behind the Saints' defence and must have thought he'd set up the goal to make it 1-1. From just a couple of yards out, Goodwilly somehow managed to scoop his shot up onto the bar rather than into the net. Just when it looked as if United's efforts would go completely unrewarded, they came up with a late leveller. Goodwilly the supplier for substitute David Robertson to score with a looping header. A 90th minute goal at Kilmarnock rescued a point last time out. 88 minutes this time as Robertson's goal secured yet another draw for Dundee United. St Mirren disappointed they couldn't hold out for a win. St Johnstone moved to within 2 points of the SPL top 6 with a penalty winner, the only goal of the game, against Motherwell in Perth. The home team had defender Dave Mackay to thank twice over for stopping them going a goal down in the first half. First he beat John Sutton to Chris Humphrey's cutback, then he denied Jamie Murphy when his shot took a deflection off Michael Dewberry. A double helping of determined defending to keep the scoreline blank. Murphy tried again after Sutton and won the ball from Liam Craig. Saints allowed the striker to turn and line up his shot at goal, and it wasn't far away. Peter Enkelman flung himself across as the shot narrowly missed the target. Into the second half, and it was time for the home team to threaten the Motherwell goal. Long-haired teenager Stevie May was making his first start for St Johnstone, and he could have marked the moment with a goal to remember. A great run from the halfway line, and his shot tested out keeper Darren Randolph. The youngster looks to be an exciting new talent who clearly likes to run with the ball. He turned defender Sean Hutchinson inside out before Randolph pulled off a good one-handed stop. The outcome was settled in the 62nd minute when Motherwell skipper Stephen Craigan was penalised for a foul on Dewberry, while Danny Granger's corner kick was airborne. Penalty given despite Craigan's protest, which earned him a booking. He'd turned his back on the ball and jumped into Dewberry. Craig sent Randolph the wrong way with the penalty kick. Saints well on the way to maintaining their unbeaten start to 2011. Stuart McCall's Motherwell couldn't come up with a response despite the best effort of wingers Steve Jones on one side and Humphrey on the other. Humphrey cut in from the right wing for a shot on goal, but Enkelman watched it go wide. Motherwell are hanging on to their place in the top six, but St Johnstone are now just 2 points behind them. The full midweek story: league leaders Celtic hammered Hearts as the Tynecastle team failed to live up to their pre-match billing. Rangers also won with something to spare and did nothing to help Hibs' relegation worries. The drop zone is a distant memory for Aberdeen, who came out on top against 10-man Cally Thistle in Inverness. Dundee United like a late equaliser. They did it for the second successive game, this time at St Mirren. And St Johnstone are knocking on the door of the top six after a penalty match winner in Perth against Motherwell. These were all the Wednesday night results in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. A 4-0 win for Celtic against Hearts. Hibs beaten 2-0 at Easter Road by Rangers. Aberdeen won 2-0 in Inverness. St Johnstone won, Motherwell 0. And a goal each for St Mirren and Dundee United. So still 5 points between Celtic and Rangers, who've 2 games in hand at the top of the league, and Hearts a further 5 back. Of the top 6 teams, only the Old Firm added to their total. St Johnstone and Aberdeen were both bottom 6 winners. Hamilton have 2 games in hand on Hibs in the drop zone. Accies were at home to Kilmarnock on Saturday, and Hearts try to relaunch their title challenge against St Johnstone. On Sunday, it's Dundee United against Hibs. And the next midweek games are Aberdeen versus Celtic and St Johnstone against Hamilton. Hibs play St Mirren, it's Inverness Dundee United, Motherwell Kilmarnock and Rangers against Hearts. All that action in our next programme.